Come along, travelers, and join me on a quest to find the true gems of the Metro Atlanta YMCA. We'll travel the world over to explore heroic tales of incredible individuals. Ladies and gentlemen, the amazing stories of the 2015 Volunteers of the Year. As we start our journey, I find myself on one of the most remote islands on the planet, Easter Island, surrounded by impressive ancient monuments. But these guys aren't talking. I wonder if any of these statues was as important to their community as our Y volunteers. Let's take a look. Angelica Campbell, Robert D. Fowler Family YMCA.
When I moved to Norcross, the first thing that I started doing was volunteering with the swim team because my children were little. And then later on, I started with the Spin Doctors, which is a group that takes care of the spin bikes in our Y. The YMCA, it is kind of like the center of the community because you have people from all kind of walks just going there to the YMCA to exercise. I was born and raised in Mexico. So when I moved to the States, I didn't have like any family just here in the area where I was living. So you can feel kind of like alone or isolated. But then every morning that I went to the YMCA and work out, I started meeting people and shortly they become part of your family. So I feel I have a family. It's not that only you are volunteering and just giving your time. It is as much time you are giving, you are receiving so much.
George Lassane, the Villages at Carver Family YMCA.
The feeling I get from when I volunteer to Y is like extreme charge. I just get really all excited because it gives me an opportunity to do something. It gives me an opportunity to help someone. We all have something to give. We all can teach somebody something. And in today's times, we need it. The children need us. The YMCA has a major impact in the Prior Road community. One of the most exciting things about the Carver Family YMCA is that we're tied into intergenerational gardening. And the neighborhood the Y sits in is known as a food desert, which basically there's not a grocery store within several miles of the facility. So we've actually incorporated gardening into the community, and we actually teach the community how to garden, how to follow the whole process through, and therefore we take the bounty from it and we use that and we actually feed the neighborhood and we teach the neighborhood how to farm. The Y does a lot, from education to health and fitness to wellness to teaching families how to be families.
Mark Spain, Forsyth County Family YMCA.
Used to go there and treat it as my gym. I did that probably for 10, 11 years, and then I was asked to chair the YMCA Spin-a-thon, and then I just realized through conversations the needs in our community. Really didn't realize how many people in our community just surrounding me had those kind of needs, especially children. And so for me, my heart's with kids because I don't think they have a choice of their situations that they are brought into, and for me, that's just where my heart is. It's not a gym. It happens to be a family destination that happens to have workout equipment there. More importantly, it's a big outreach program where it actually helps people who are underprivileged be able to participate in things that they might not otherwise be able to. I think that God's blessed us with talents, and I think that you have to utilize those talents. You can't always be a taker, you gotta be a giver too. And the silver lining is how it makes you feel, and you know you're doing the right things.
Tammy Helton Palmgren, McCleskey East Cobb, Northeast Cobb Family YMCAs.
My daughter enrolled in the YMCA preschool program at the age of 3, and they took excellent care of her. I love the way the Y volunteers really care about the individuals, really care about those children and interact with them. Volunteering at the Y has made a difference in my life by being part of something bigger, being part of something that means more. The Y has impacted my family by bringing us together. It's given us one purpose that we can all do together. My children volunteer with me. I've been very lucky to be engaged in a lot of events at the YMCA. The first event is the summer feeding program. Going to the apartment complexes, working with the children has meant so much to me. The second thing that I was engaged in is the little school. Going to the Hispanic population, preparing them for their first day of school, and also just being engaged in my community, making sure that others know what the Y is doing, the Y purpose. It means a lot to me.
Adam Fuller, Carl E. Sanders family, YMCA at Buckhead.
I joined the Y to work out. As I learned more, I really started seeing all the great things they do and their alignment with two things that really are important to me, which are education and healthy living, and it grew from there. The Y is, I believe, uniquely positioned in helping the community in a lot of different ways. It impacts us directly by giving us a place to go and work out, experience better, healthier lifestyles. But the impact that it has outside of myself and my family with the broader community and how we do outreach and how we are providing services to those that may not be able to access the Y on their own, and how that is creating better lifestyles and better outcomes for children and families makes it all worthwhile and makes it important. My favorite thing about the Sanders Buckhead Y is the community. It's seeing the same people, developing relationships, seeing the staff, seeing the smiles of the front desk at 5:30 in the morning when they're opening the doors and they're excited you're there.
Tori Dinsmore Yurda, Summit Family YMCA.
As a child, my parents took me to the Y for swimming lessons, but I didn't realize at that time what all the Y is comprised of and what all the Y does. The biggest thing to me that I wasn't aware of in getting involved is how many people that the Y helps out that need financial assistance. That really challenged me to go to others, to get them to give. It's I feel like our duty and our responsibility to help others, whether it's with our time, our talents, or financially. Earlier this year when we did the Why It Matters annual campaign, all of the kids presented me with a huge greeting card and a trophy. And my husband went with me and we walked in the room and these kids are just yelling and screaming, "Hi, Miss Tori." And he looked at me and he said, "I get it. I see why you got involved."
Norma Villegas, Association Outreach Services.
Los programas de aprendizaje temprano me parecen excelentes, ya que, para mi parecer, son los primeros pasos para un niño a la universidad. Los chiquitines aprenden a prepararse para ir a la escuela. Ya cuando ellos asisten, la verdad que van con aquella confianza que uno puede, como padre de familia, quedarse despreocupado en casa sin el temor de tener que desprenderse de aquel niño cuando él va a vivir algo nuevo para él. Para nosotros como familia o como padres de familia es una ayuda a la que se nos ofrece, ya que hay bastantes programas que son de alto costo, los cuales nosotros como padres de familia no podemos pagar. En ellos nosotros tenemos la oportunidad, junto con nuestros chiquititos, de estudiar y de aprender juntos a manera de juegos. Yo siento que todos, sin importar nuestra edad o cuántos años pasen, podemos hacer algo grande por los demás. Estoy muy emocionada de estar aquí.
Adrian Gutierrez Cereza, J.M. Tull, Gwinnett Family YMCA.
Volunteering at the Y has helped me break the shell, make friends, and allow to interact with people of all age, all ethnicity, and all backgrounds. I was a loner. I was really quiet. I did not like to socialize, and it was really hard for me to communicate. And when I was in the Y, they were breaking the shell, and I became a little bit free until I was like a free bird, singing free. The YMCA is a community. It creates so many programs. If you want to have a good community, you should go to the Y.
Ah, you found me in the Himalayas, the highest region in the world, home to Mount Everest. Of course, I fearlessly summited the mountain, guided only by my explorer's intuition. I've come to realize some of the most amazing Y stories are still found at home, like these passionate people in your Y. Misty Harper, G. Cecil Pruitt Community Center, Cherokee Outdoor YMCAs.
Parental involvement is key. because there are so many children that need to participate. If the parents weren't there to help with the programs, then the programs wouldn't actually get off the ground. In the youth sports program, the kids, they learn all about living healthy lifestyles. They learn about working together. They learn to be part of their community and to be good citizens, and they all learn to be leaders. Volunteering at the Y has had a huge impact on my entire family. We spend a lot of time at the facility. We have all become healthier. We exercise more, we eat better, we spend more time together. I really feel like adults have to be examples for the children, no matter what age group, so that they can grow up and learn how to take part in their own community.
Jason Redmond, East Lake Family YMCA.
I coach basketball, soccer, and baseball. I believe that youth sports is so important for kids because it teaches them the game of life through sports. I believe sports has a lot to do with adversity, a lot to do with hard work, a lot to do with being dedicated to something and sticking through it, whether you're winning or losing. You get a chance to see little 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old kids running around, breaking all the rules while they're trying their hardest. It's very amusing to see. It's one of those gratifying things that you get to experience with kids. It's important for members of the community to volunteer their time and make contributions to the Y because everyone is not blessed with the same thing. You know, different kids come from different backgrounds. Being able to volunteer or being able to make donations is just a small part of what we can do to give kids an equal opportunity to learn and grow.
Eugene McIntyre, Ed Isaacson, Alpharetta Family YMCA.
One of the most important things I learned as a child participating in Y programs and activities was that I did matter. I had incredibly successful adults taking times out of their lives just for me, and that really does make a difference in a child's life. It helps give them the self-confidence and the reassurance growing up that they matter and what they participate in is important. My role as a volunteer is an opportunity to help support my community. As a coach, I've got 10, 12 of the greatest 7, 8-year-old girls you could ever imagine. I spend an hour of practice and an hour a game each week with them, but even more time just trying to help them grow and develop into the young adults that they ultimately will become. And hopefully I can impart some of the wisdom and foundations that adults in my past imparted in me.
Tony Petrangeli, YMCA Camp High Harbor.
One thing I've noticed about High Harbor through my daughter is that these kids, they come back every year, so it's like a family. If I could bottle her energy and enthusiasm and her attitude when she comes back from High Harbor, I would be a millionaire. I think it's important for people to volunteer at their local Y because it shows your children that you are invested in their lives. And I just think that it's important for not only children but adults to learn how to coexist and get along and be accepting.
Eric Evans, Wade Walker Park Family YMCA.
The beauty of the Wade Walker Y, the beauty of the YMCA as a whole is you take everybody. So you get an opportunity to work with a diverse group of people regardless of their socioeconomic background. Youth sports give kids an opportunity to learn outside of the classroom. They learn discipline, they learn teamwork, character. All those things go into being a part of the team. It's sacrifice. You're not going to always get to be the best, but at least you try. And that's the important thing to teach kids as they're growing up, that life is about trying. And as long as they continue to try it, they're going to succeed.
Jerry Miller, Decatur Family YMCA.
I got involved in the YMCA probably 25 years ago, first just using it as a workout facility. I became involved really more as a volunteer when I came onto the board 10 years ago. The entire city of Decatur looks at the Y as an institution that is really a glue for the community. I think it's important for folks to spend time volunteering at the Y so that they get a real wide view of what the Y does. The Y brings together people of various generations, various status, and I think that's one of very few places that happens.
Kelsey Davis, Northwest Family YMCA.
Our international excursion in 2013 to Prague, Czech Republic was by far one of the best experiences of my life. I met so many great people from the YMCA here in Atlanta, but also all around the world. And we went with 40 other teens out of the Metro Atlanta YMCA, and we went to a festival that had 5,000 teens from all over the world, from Y Spain, Y Israel, all these different places. And we just met really to talk about different things that went on in our YMCA. In the 2014 and 2015 school year, I was going around talking a lot to different conferences and different places about leadership and teen-inspired leadership and what that looks like in all these different places, but we didn't have that at our own branch. An idea that I had was, let's start a Leaders Club here. We were able to start our Leaders Club, which has been amazing. We've had teens from 5 different high schools in our local area join our Leaders Club. I think it's important to make time to volunteer for the Y because they so selflessly make time to volunteer into our community and to volunteer into our lives personally. The YMCA is amazing. I think anyone that knows me personally knows that I love the YMCA because they've done so much for me and so much for our community.
This jungle is teeming with life. All you have to do is look around. Right now, all I can see is rain. But never fear, I will persevere in my quest. These stories of dedication and commitment will serve as the perfect inspiration as I near the end of my journey. Angela Graham, South DeKalb Family YMCA.
I believe it's important for people to give their time and their efforts and resources to the Y because we're all called on this earth for a purpose. And I believe that my purpose is to give back to those who are in need and to help those who are less fortunate. That's the best reason to give to the YMCA. What the Y means for me was exemplified when I attended my first board meeting and I actually showed up at the wrong building. I showed up at the building where there was an after-school program, and seeing all of the children very involved in activities, excited and happy, gave me a sense of peace and joy. When I did finally make it to the board meeting, I asked about the program and they said that that was one of the largest after-school programs in the state of Georgia. So the South DeKalb YMCA is the reason why I give.
Linda Dean, Andrew and Walter Young Family YMCA.
I believe it's important to volunteer with the YMCA, especially for this next generation. The Y does a lot of different things, but the Walter and Andrew Young YMCA is a special place. This is not just a place for kids to come play basketball. This is a place that they're being mentored and lives are being changed. They are developing leaders. Even the children that have graduated from the teen program and gone on to college, those children are coming back to the YMCA and they're sewing back into these children and they're motivating them to do good in school, to go to college. Volunteering through the YMCA it's changed my life.
Warren Carson, YMCA of Metro Atlanta.
We dedicate so much time to business and other endeavors, but being able to really find something where you can give back to the community makes you feel good, makes you feel whole. The Y is important to our community because it serves so many different segments of our community, from an age segment, from young children with our early learning and early childhood programs, through youth sports camps, through programs for our seniors. It also serves all segments of our society in all parts of metropolitan Atlanta. My favorite thing about my Y experience, probably as a parent. I love nothing more than picking my son up from camps and hearing about all the great time he had, what he's learned, the friends he's made. I love volunteering and helping, but I also love being a Y consumer and seeing how it impacts my son.
Catherine Reed, Cowart Family, Ashford Dunwoody YMCA.
As a volunteer, I tutor reading and math. The children in the after-school program mostly have working parents, and they don't have a lot of time to do all this reading and math homework, and I liked to help. One of the things that I loved the most was walking in there and seeing those 3 little children run up to see who could go first. You know, they hug me and want to be the first one to get tutored. They want to learn. That makes me feel wonderful, and I didn't expect to feel that way. I got where I really wanted to go back and see them again. And each child had parents that came to me and expressed appreciation. It was very special. You can't help enough. You can't do too much. The better that children can read and do their math and talk about life in general, it's just an enriching experience.
Fale Keso Bangura, YMCA Academies of South DeKalb.
I first got involved with the YMCA when it was back in 2011. We were looking for schools to put my stepson in. I came back again and asked questions. They told me that they have open door policy so that I can come in any time to see how he's doing, and also if I want to volunteer or anything, the door is open. So that's how I start. The things that I do as a volunteer, it depends on the day. I am originally from West Africa, so where I am from, actually, as a female, we don't have no voice. Coming in this country and seeing different things that are available there, not just for me as a woman, but for children at that age, it was greatest experience. The Why Matter campaign stands for people that cannot afford to even get their kids there, not just for pre-K program or for anything, but for daycare because they have to go to work. That they're able to provide scholarship for those people. It doesn't matter if you have $1. It doesn't matter if you have $1 million. Whatever you have, it counts and it matters.
Nick Laka, Arthur M. Blank Family, Youth YMCA.
One of my favorite experiences at the YMCA was when I first got involved, I walked over to the Y to have a meeting with the director. And when I walked in, one of the preschool coordinators asked me if I wanted to come and read a story to the kids. I said, absolutely. I was reminded of reading bedtime stories to my own children and watching the kids, just seeing their faces light up and they're kind of hanging on every word. It just impacted me that I have an opportunity to make a difference with kids, even if it's just something as small as reading to them. But my favorite thing about my experience as the Y is just the way it makes me feel. I know that I'm doing something good with my time and helping others. If we're not giving back, then all we're doing is taking, and that's just not fair. We have to give back.
Theresa Tillery, ECDC, YMCA, Head Start.
Going to the Y, it gives me the opportunity to be me and to help someone else, especially our kids, our children, which is our future. The Y is the beginning of life for our children. It shapes them, it molds them for their future, and we have to be able to prepare them for their future. They struggle so hard to make it through life, and they have to have a worth in society in order to meet the goals that are before them. It's very important that the community get involved at the Y. It takes a village to raise a child. Volunteering at the Y makes me feel worthy, worth my life, really.